Alrighty. Welcome to COZSNUG, Thursday night.
July 20th?
July 20th, yeah. Great. Right. I think our topic's going to be love. It's that general topic. We're going to play that video we made a while ago, and then we're just going to kind of more people to come in. So this will even work perfectly because we can play that video. You remember?
How long is it?
It's like 3 minutes long. We'll start with, and we just got our COZSNUG website. COZSNUG.com is finally up and running fully. We got all the kinks worked out of it, so it's actually pretty and beautiful. And operational. Has all our events up there. We're going to get art up there real soon. We kind of changed up the definition of COZSNUG a little clearer. We changed it up to be welcoming connection. Okay. It gets a little more straight to the point, just a little clearer than being cozy towards others.
Yeah, that definitely leaves a lot of interpretive room.
Yeah.
Which also there's room for spin.
Yeah.
We don't want spin. Avoid the spin machine.
All right. Okay. Shut that door when you're not out there. You guys already going?
Yeah, we're going.
All right. What's everybody talking about?
Oh, we were just talking about the video. We're talking about how we changed kind of the definition of COZSNUG to be welcoming connection.
Okay. Welcoming connection, yeah.
Hi.
Cheers.
You?
Hey, Millie. What's up, girl?
Where were you? Was you outside? Ken, Melly was outside.
She was across the street. How are you?
Hello.
Good.
Oh my gosh, look how cute these are. They're just adorable. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good to see you.
You too. Hi, Brandy, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Look,
Good,
you and Brandy both
thanks.
did the same thing today. You guys didn't know each other. Cooked?
She must have gone out when you were out there last, when I came home.
She must have.
She was across the street.
Sorry
She
about that,
listened,
babe.
though. Hello, how are you?
You got it.
We got chairs.
Welcome to Thursday.
Uh-huh.
Steve. Yeah, we're gonna try and make photos.
All right.
I'm Crystal.
Oh, you guys are not moving into Ogden. Yeah, it's getting close. Getting close. It's like, let's see, 20 years, I guess.
We get it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You guys need which is this?
This is the workshop.
It is.
So there's some resources available.
Like, transportation resources?
Yeah,
I
call them crap.
think we're going back there.
Good trailer?
Probably. Okay. We could arrange that.
Interesting. So, I'll do it. So we got our website all up and running for COZSNUG.com.
Oh, yay.
What's up? Oh my gosh, I just love every single part about this. Everybody shows up and just says, "Hey, we're beautiful people. We're all coming together." Right?
Kind of, sort of.
I don't know if you got my voice quite right.
It wasn't just your voice. It was part of our me just doing some kind of a wee voice that was really wee. So did you already? What? I don't know what you did.
Yeah,
talk about
just
yet.
barely know. Since everybody's here, we kind of we made this video like a week or two ago. A few minutes long. It's called Unveiling True Strength. format. We made this nice little thing, and we want to show it to you guys and then talk about it, and then we're just kind of gonna see how we flow from there.
And it even has like an AI voice that's narrating it.
Did the AI design the video too?
No, I think
No. As to me, the video, we actually designed the word. We wanted the concept to be told. We put all this thought into it. We went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
In a world that thrives on appearances and self-assurance, it's easy to fall into the trap of false empowerment. We often find ourselves embracing superficial facades that masquerade as ultimate strength, only to eventually realize the emptiness that lies beneath. But let us delve deeper and discover the stark contrast between the illusory and the authentic, the artificial and the genuine. Picture a stage illuminated by artificial spotlights, where confidence is mistaken for arrogance and bravado takes center stage. This illusion of empowerment is a mere facade, an act put on to deceive both ourselves and those around us. We laugh, we boast, and we convince ourselves that we're invincible, but deep down, a lingering emptiness eats away at our true essence. As we peel back the layers of this false empowerment, cracks begin to appear. The laughter becomes hollow, and the smiles lose their radiance. We realize that behind the secrecy mask, vulnerability resides, waiting to be acknowledged. The fear of failure, rejection, and inadequacy looms large, reminding us that the illusion we've created is nothing more than a fragile house of cards already starting to tumble. Authentic empowerment emerges when we have the courage to confront our flaws and embrace our imperfections. It is the ability to laugh at ourselves, acknowledging that we are not infallible beings, but rather beautifully flawed connected individuals on a journey of self-discovery. True strength lies in our capacity to accept and learn from our mistakes, rather than covering them up with false bravado, or any amount of shame or secrecy. Contrary to the illusion, real empowerment blossoms when we allow ourselves to be vulnerable. It's the willingness to expose our raw emotions, fears, and insecurities, understanding that true connection and growth arise from this place of authenticity. In opening ourselves up to the world, we invite others to do the same, fostering an environment of genuine understanding and support. The journey towards real empowerment goes beyond the self. It involves discovering our true purpose and channeling our strengths to make a positive impact on the lives of others. Genuine empowerment arises when we uplift and empower those around us, creating a ripple effect of change that extends far beyond the confines of our own existence. We can all be love emerging. It really is a choice in the pursuit of empowerment. Let us not be deceived by the false allure of superficial confidence. Instead, let us peel back the layers, laugh at ourselves, and embrace the vulnerability that accompanies true strength. It is through this journey of self-discovery that we unlock the doors to genuine empowerment, forging connections, making a difference, and embracing the beautifully imperfect beings that we are.
There you go.
Really, where he stops.
The messages is, like it's fear that places conditions on love, which makes it not quite love anymore, because it's an unconditional thing, and when it's genuine.
Exactly. So that is, yeah, well said. That's what we wanted to talk about tonight. We wanted to just show this because this ties to the very heart of what we believe that COZSNUG is all about. We have been given one line after another about all the false ways that we can empower ourselves. It's so easy to see. Look at all the different offerings of how much money you can make by doing this kind of thing or that. It's just everywhere. The options are limitless. It's been our whole lives. We're all experts at it. True strength lies on our insides. And it's where we discover what really is. It's like being more real with just our, just being our more okay to be our authentic selves. Whatever that is. And we wanted to have this conversation tonight about the whole concept of false empowerment versus true strength, per se. But really, there's more than just this duality of those, the battle of that happening, right? There's no real battle happening to true strength. True strength doesn't feel like there's any battle at all. True strength just sits there and just is just strong enough to be whatever. And so we wanted tonight to just talk about the whole concept of what does it mean? How do we love ourselves? How do we do it?
It sounded like there's a heavy emphasis on true strength comes from how we are able to serve others and ourselves. So like that doesn't come. It's again all the paradoxes. It's both self-generated and comes from the environment you're in. It's like co-creating an environment that's conducive to everyone's growth. That's where
That is so, the way you just said that is so beautiful, yes. Co-creating an environment, say it again, co-creating an environment that is conducive to everyone's growth. That's like Link saying, yeah, I know why I exist. I believe that every human interaction should be approached with healing intent. It's coming at the world saying, hey, here's what you can count on when you interact with me. I'm a this. And when I say this, it's because, and you can tell I mean it.
Say this, is it like a fixed thing? Does one have like a fixed purpose? Once you discover it, you are that thing. Definitely, whatever, as long as you're in this
Not
body.
even close. Yeah, no, because we can morph that into anything we want to, right? I'm not, any label I place on myself right now, they're not like the old labels I used to place. I used to place labels upon myself to give myself excuses to hang out in my cocoon to let everybody know the reasons why I wasn't being relatable. Now, I like to label things with intentionality. It's like, oh, I already learned how to detach from everything and like be okay with everything as it is. That's just kind of like learning to be honest. Now that I'm here in the honest place, right here in the now what do I want my story to look like? Well, I want it to be pure. I want it to be pure what? Well, what's the first word that comes to your mind?
Isness.
You got to be okay with the isness first, and then once you're in that isness, once you're already in the isness and you're just there for a while, it gets kind of boring.
I mean, that's relative.
Because because you can pay attention to anything you want to anytime, because there's just a gajillion things always going on everywhere, right? But I love that we talk about the whole concept of how do we love upon ourselves, because I have seen the vast majority of us talking about the concept of love as if it was some love that we used to had someday. Oh yeah, back in the day when I had this love, or some love that you might have someday, some future love that you might have, but the present moment's the only place that love exists. Ever. And that's what a new level of awareness shows us, is that present moment reigns supreme. So if the present moment reigns supreme, well then how well do I coincide with my present moment? How well am I vibing with it?
That's up to you.
Exactly.
In any given moment, and that may shift and change your like how one goes about being harmonious changes with the environment one tries to be harmonious in. So that takes like adaptability. And there's another paradox: adaptability and relatability. Like if you're able to relate in like vastly different environments, you're then not relatable in another way.
Because you traded off your time to only gain the skills of this thing. I mean, I can't go to the Antarctic right now and just like exist in those conditions because I haven't built up those. Like I could.
That's a good analogy. Like we have our limitations on that adaptability.
Whatever we believe, yeah.
Well, yes. All right. Let's go to the Arctic and hang out. Take that.
Now I'm super down with this, by the way.
Go do some Wim Hof in your.
Yeah, Wim Hof.
Yes, I'm down for that.
There you go.
You guys don't make it, I'll be there. Okay, Steve, you're coming. All right, so do you guys want to talk about this? Let's talk about how do we love ourselves? How this is we're being we'll just this is all we've ever done with COZSNUG and I is just get around and be willing to be vulnerable with each other and talk about the things that we're proud of and the things that challenge us, and just be there for each other and listen. And did you have something to say?
Love ourselves by understanding when we are overextending, because that can become a self-harm.
Yeah, that's yeah.
I mean, giving too much rather than taking care of ourselves.
Time, resources, whatever. Like if it's destroying your ability to provide or you know to have the healing intent in all your interactions, then you've taken a step too far. You know,
Right.
The enthusiasm and the reality of the situation don't line up with the present.
Right. Exactly. Yes. Exactly. So the new level of awareness, all of a sudden, like, oh, I better like get on this quicker, or
Well, it comes with the humility and you know resignation, determination, initiative, and all those kinds of things.
yeah.
It's kind of like intent isn't the extent of it. Like one can have the right intent, you know, and without those other things, what are like humility, recognition, what are the others? Like that are the like other ingredients or whatever for I don't know purity. Like I know like for me like I've had good intentions and not been aligned and have done harm out of it. Even having right intention, still did harm. And still like did the wrong thing. And like that's just what that reminded me of. It's not the extent of it.
Did harm as a direct you know, causative to your, or causation of your action, or because people didn't respond to your intent?
It's like through improper action, the right intent was not recognized, and that like bridge of action when it's like aligned wasn't there. Well, it wasn't formed correctly. So it like whatever right intent through the wrong prism created, you know, destruction. And then just to put it like
Well, yeah, right.
grossly.
Well, like you can think about Christian proselytizers. They have the right intention. They're trying to save everyone from hell, but then they go around yelling on the street corner, scaring everyone away. That's you have a good intention, but what's your action?
The results matching up with
Yeah,
the intention.
yeah, exactly.
The correlation there.
And they do. They have to when harmony exists. You know, harmony is existing, and the byproduct is things working out, things being like the highest form that they can be.
Things flowing.
Yeah.
Yes. So much yes. That's where it feels like there's love. It's when you feel flow. Oh, everything's flowing right here. Everything's flowing and cool and easy. It's like a COZSNUG thing. It's like just, it's easy. Yeah, this is so, like, yeah, I can hang out here easy. I mean, why would I want this to quit?
Doesn't ever quit. Take it with you.
Right? You can create that vibe anywhere you want.
Just a few hours ago, we got stopped by some missionaries on the street. We were walking to the place. We were walking to 7-Eleven. And they're young kids, and they're like, hey, what's up? And just, yeah, we had a beautiful conversation
Cool.
on just like high spiritual stuff. And they're coming at it from Book of Mormon. They had the tags in the book, and they had answers for everything, and this scripture to that answer. And it was weird because I agreed with most of what they were saying. Just coming from an unrelatable perspective, and we were both trying to like show them like there's yes, and there's other ways. The things that you're describing, yes, but like there's other ways to it. You know, it was wonderful to be able to like the fucking ocean between like that and other ways of believing, even though they're so similar.
Well, yeah, exactly. Any single exclusive version, anything, any single way to exclusively think about anything. I used to walk around knocking on doors saying, hey, down deep, the bigger thing is, eventually I'm going to talk you into coming around to our special way of seeing things because we have a better way of seeing things than you do. You're not quite as blessed yet, and we need to bless you. And so we're going to come and impose upon you because you need it. Trust us. And it's just this most arrogant positioning that you're not even aware of. It's the Dunning-Kruger effect. If you want to look it up in the psychological literature.
Is that taking on the ego of a collective conscious entity like a church?
No, that's the dumber you are, the smarter you think you are.
The dumber you are, yeah. The more you really don't know anything, the more bravado and confidence you have.
The more you learn about it, the less you know about it.
Oh, that's everything.
Yeah, it's everything.
But that's the. I mean, now we're talking about false empowerment at the epitome, right? So there's eventually there's an emptiness to back into that whole deal. So where's the true strength going to come from? I'd like to talk about that. Like, what are ways in which we all find to say, hey, right now I'm just going to self-care, not tear, or whatever. How do we say it to ourselves? Right now I'm going to be in a. Hey, I'm going to love on myself today. Today, I mean, what do we all do? How do we do it? Wake up is the first thing, and then how? Do you have like an intentional kind of a morning that you do, Crystal?
Sometimes I'm better at it.
What do you like to do in the mornings that is a wake up kind of a routine?
I like to set like an earlier alarm so that I can know that I'm going to be awake. I feel anxious about my day. So to like prepare and know that like I'm safe where I'm at and I'm safe in my body. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay.
Nice.
Yeah, and then just being mindful about
Nice.
my morning.
You just reminded me of this conversation that I just had while I was up at Lava Hot Springs with these beautiful people. And they were, it made me aware again of how it would feel different if I was a woman. And I really tried to be like in their shoes while they were talking, and they were talking about this concept of not feeling just safe in society, just not feeling safe in general. And that's what they want more than anything, is just to feel safe. Is that a thing for women in general? Is that they need to, because men have been whatever ways that they've been, are women wanting to feel safe the most?
Like more than men. Is that what you're asking?
Well, no, I'm not saying more than men. I'm not comparing it to men.
What are they looking for?
I think I've been more scared of other women than men, for the majority.
Oh, interesting.
Not men. I'm not
I'm
scared of.
definitely afraid of men. Are you kidding? I will not go out past a certain time to go walk at night. If I was a dude, yeah, I'd go walk out at night. I don't give a shit. I'm not going out as a woman, but it's also like I cannot live in that fear, and it's also like I cannot put myself at risk of anything. It's just silly. But then it's like I cannot live in fear. It's ridiculous. I have this.
But situationally, if it's during the day, are you more afraid of men?
So I'm afraid of that all the time. But
See, and I've most of my life had more guy friends than female friends because I could relate better with men than I could girls. And that was when I was younger too. I didn't like the cattiness and the. I was more of a tomboy. I didn't like feeling like I had to be a certain way and wear makeup and do this or that. And so my guy friends were always just who they were, and I loved that. Of course, everyone gave each other shit anyways, but it wasn't the catty, like, you're fat and, you know, your boobs are too little, like, stuff like that. It wasn't, like, personal stuff. It was just, we'd all just make fun and joke with each other, but not on levels like that I got from a lot of the girls, so. I was never afraid of men, but situationally, yes. If you're alone in a dark alley or something, yeah, you could, someone's always could be bigger than you as well, and I'm sure men can have the same situations.
for sure.
'Cause we're all different shapes and sizes and strengths, but yeah, some women grow up being more scared of guys, but I don't know that I don't know if that's a majority or not.
Everybody's got their
most.
own experience. Everybody's got their own unique experience.
But a lot of guys are scared of women, too.
Yeah, there's fun. Everybody's got different types of
Girls
things they're scared of.
Or
Yeah.
can be mean. Everyone can be mean, so.
Might
Put-
have to start
putting it
building
to-
polls into the website.
Say it again.
Might have to start building polls into the
Polls.
website.
I think it's building your DNA. Because back in the beginning, why would man and woman get together? He was a provider, protector. She needed that, and she needed to bring offspring. She needed protection. It was always the timid and needed the protection of the.
Yeah, there's that real like, hey,
It's built
I've
in.
got this.
It's
I
built
got the
in.
fort for us. Now let's create
He
something.
can
Yeah.
build the food, and he can protect us from the bad guy. And
For a long time, women couldn't work or vote or own property.
Right, that's
Or,
what I.
yeah, so society developed. that. Only women were witches and burned at the stake for healing, just healing people.
Or hexing
Or, yeah,
them. I'm just kidding.
or being witches, who knows, but
Well,
a lot of it was
everything-
even
everything
just
was fine
plant
until,
medicine.
until, you know, one of your remedies didn't work, then, oh, you're gone.
It's like, oh,
Right?
you're not 100%. I guess you're out.
And doctors have malpractice insurance, because the same thing comes down on them, so.
You get burned at a different kind of state.
They just, yeah, they get a poker up the ass instead.
The doctor's still practicing after 30 years. Can you be a doctor by now?
Yes.
I don't know, I guess athletes still practice for their whole career. But when it's game time, it's not practice anymore.
Right. Go
Next level.
time. So, how can we, or what are other ways in which, Ash, talk about some of the ways let me say this. I've never encountered another human like you, Ash. I mean, I can say this about I'm talking there about every one of us. Right now, I'm going to talk about Ashton for 1 second. Ashton has blown my mind in my life. He has a capacity and a bandwidth that I was just blown away by. I've watched Ashton, ever since I've known him, care about every single moment that we've ever been together. He cared about the moment. He cared about the whole thing. He cared about it all. And what I've seen as an example to me constantly in Ashton is somebody who says, today is a day when I'm self-caring. I'm self-caring. And any times that I've ever heard you talk shit about yourself, you're almost immediately ready to say, why did I just do that? Why? No, hey, rewind. Here's how I would have chosen to do that again, if I could say it again, Ken. And I just watched you, and I've learned from you every moment. I would love to hear, and I'm sure everybody would love to hear, some of the ways in which all of us find that we are leaning into, hey, what does it mean to love on yourself? But I like the idea of us actually, if we're going to be an example of anything to any of ourselves, then we talk about what we're doing, the specific things that we're doing to say, hey, here's a day of self-care, not terror.
I really have been focusing on self-care almost exclusively for quite a while now. I think it's so important to be the best version of yourself so you can be that for other people. I really think that the more you care for yourself, the better you make yourself as a person, the better you make yourself feel inside of yourself, the more enjoyment you can give to everyone else. You know, misery loves company, but so does joy.
Right.
Really, I think the easiest practice, present moment. It's so simple. Just keep pointing at it. It really is where love is. The second you point at the present moment, lots of things you do. I mean, you can realize that the present moment is the only thing that exists, which gets rid of the anxiety and depression. It doesn't immediately. It's a lot easier said than done. But it it is true that the more you keep letting go of all of these stories we tell about the past and the future, the more we just rest in the present, you really just find that it's all okay right now. Right now. Right now. Right now. Not okay yet? I know that sounds really easy to say, but when we're just let go and are just here, we don't worry about all the different stories about what could happen, what is going to happen right now. How are you? It's so simple now, just been so direct and poignant about just constantly over and over the present moment, the present moment. Is it okay right now? If it doesn't feel okay right now, there's usually a reason on why that is. Maybe it's my relationship with someone. Maybe my back hurts. Maybe I'm procrastinating something. A million things. So it's so easy to come to action if you don't feel comfortable right now. You usually can figure out a way to be more comfortable from where you are right now.
Yeah, if you're not comfortable, there's going to be that little bit of stress with it.
Right.
Whether that turns into distress or eustress is what you do with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Where you just take your will.
And I think there's this huge thing where I think a lot of people don't even feel comfortable in their skin from whatever past trauma that they've experienced. It's just so important. It can be really scary, but you just have to sit with yourself. If you just run around all the time, constantly going on to the next newest thing, trying to fill or cover up something that happened to us, but until we face it and accept it, and are okay with ourselves, we're just constantly going to be running. I like business. Or you really catch your mind and start controlling yourself, you're just like a drunken monkey running around, doing everything you could possibly think of that sounds fun until you kind of bring yourself to the present and think, what do I really want?
It's kind of simple. Hey, what do I want my next hour to look like?
Yeah.
The last hour, I just kind of let happen. Now I wonder if I could control this next hour. Maybe the next minute. Let me just try the next couple seconds.
So it sounds so simple, but I think self-care and just loving yourself has to be right now. You have to decide right now if you feel like you do love yourself enough to make change. Yourself and others feel better. I think everyone does really love themselves deeply. A lot of people, brother's a great example, loves himself so much, but he doesn't, it's not right to love himself too much. I think it's really okay to love yourself completely, selfishly. You have to be able to love. There is so much selfishness in the concept of love at all. To love something, to want it. Yet, of course, that's selfish. There's nothing wrong with that.
Can I reframe the whole concept of selfish? I was sitting there one day and I thought to myself, hey, I know that I'm being extremely selfish, which is kind of self-ish. There's nothing wrong with it, but
If your heart's in a place of collaboration, consideration, inclusivity, and healing, and raising vibrations, then yeah, there's definitely a room and a place for selfishness in the aspect of, I'm doing the best I can, and there's no reason for me to hold on to guilt or shame or any of these patriarchy-trained attitudes.
well, yeah, that's what we're all doing. If I ever walk around and talk about all the narcissists out there, guess what I'm struggling with inside myself right now, guys?
Your own narcissism.
It's just constant. No matter what you're talking about, it's what your world is. Put emotion behind it, and wow, it gets more powerful. But you wield a lot of power. The words we say matter. That's why we want to get together and have these conversations, because we believe all these words matter. That everybody's words matter now. Everyone's. So where do we have a time where we can just get together and just listen to each other's stories? Because I don't see myself any better than anybody here at all. I just see myself as having unique stories. You got unique stories. You got unique stories. You got unique stories. Everybody's got unique stories, and how would I possibly learn those stories unless I learned them from you? Because you're the only one on the whole entire planet that has them. Because of the fact that you're the only one that has your unique experience. So simple. Why not just go into inclusivity mode instead of exclusively walking around thinking everybody's going to come around to my special way of seeing things?
I think even self-love and self-care can be so much simpler. Not even like how many people like have a hobby, I'm sure that we all love, some kind of art you like putting creativity into. That's all self-love. That's all self-care. All these things that you love and have passion into. These are the things that really heal you and bring you to a place of balance.
Well, yeah, go ahead.
Struggle with self-care sometimes. Not self-love. No issues there. But self-care, it's like sometimes I feel like I'm a plant that doesn't need much at all. Like it's just still alive. It's still like, all right, I like lose.
I don't need any more food. I don't need no food.
And I'm just fine. It's like what gives me anxiety is not knowing how to want more. Like the desire for I want to take care of myself. I should help. I draw a blank. I don't even know. But I got the basics
Right.
now.
Well, that's the thing. I actually really understand this very deeply. A lot of people tell you how you should take care of yourself. What's healthy for you? You really have to ask yourself what is the most comfortable for you. For someone, lying on a bed of nails might be the most comfortable place for them. You know, so it's like, what do you need? What makes you feel healthy? Even if you don't know, it's like that might not even be the right question. I think when I don't know, it's truly this: what are you already doing right now? You're right here in the COZSNUG, doing self-care with the whole group.
There's like spirit and mind care. The body stuff, all I have are the basics. I want to be like, I need a spa day. Yeah, I'll take myself to the hot spring every once in a while, but that's not the same as like I'm suffering because I haven't pampered myself physically. It's like I would like to have that.
Cam needs some. We need to get him on the table.
I need water. I need good water and air and being in nature and love and closeness and community. Basic stuff. You know. Probably more food. Don't have the best relationship with food. I like to eat food, like not terrible food, but like weed doesn't help with my. I could like. I feel self-care when I go make myself something that's really vitalizing, or go get myself something that's really vitalizing. Don't do it enough.
This is awesome. Yeah, just like cooking yourself a really nutritious meal. That feels like just, I just love that. Like when you take all the time and
convenient and easy.
Yeah, I sacrificed the good vitalization for convenience and easy sometimes.
Right.
But you
Well-
just like a handful of like berries or a banana.
that is feel like self-care. Good point. Yes, just a handful of berries would feel like a massive act of self-care.
I think diet's a really huge factor on self-care. Especially like, you are what you eat. It's such an old phrase, but I think it's so true. It's whatever what you are putting in your body. And even it's like you can even be putting whatever in your body, but what is your intention with the food you're putting in your body?
To a degree, what you eat is what you make of it.
Yeah.
So we can transmute McDonald's.
I really think that's there's truth to that. I
Bless
think
it.
I don't even McDonald's by the way, but
That was like
Good
all you
example.
had to eat.
Oh,
Thanks. Come on in, buddy. You can share this chair right here with Wolfie, maybe, or grab one of those chairs. What's more comfortable for you, buddy? Wolfie is chilling with all of us.
Gilbert.
Can everybody see? Oh,
Gilbo-
Wolfie.
Gilbo
Oh, Wolfie
Baggins.
is. He's right here, and he's right on the camera too. You guys look. He's right here in the corner. He's just our little mascot in the corner. So cute. And Melly's. Oh my gosh, look how beautiful
Gilbert.
you guys all are.
I like
That's when
that
he's
one.
in trouble. It's his formal name.
That's good.
Alex came in. The big old love ball came in while we were talking about love.
Love and self-care.
Oh.
Well,
That's just perfect.
I'm wondering if you have anything like any practices you've been doing in your life lately that you feel like
So as most of you know, self-care is something I've struggled with a lot for most of my life. For a long time, I was suffering this kind of moral preoccupation that it's just not right to give myself care. I have to be better than to need that sort of thing.
Martyr.
Yeah. Martyr. And that's pretty self-destructive as it turns out. So lately what I've been doing is just I get caught up in those ideas of self-mutilation for morality's sake. I just have to not distract myself, but withdraw from it and take a moment and do the things I don't like give myself a hug or say something nice or think pleasant thoughts toward my being. And my goal is to get to this point where I can wake up and look in the mirror and say a whole bunch of sweet things to the guy looking back at me. I think there's a lot of stuff in our culture that, as much as we talk about self-care, as much as our culture talks about self-care, it doesn't really supply a methodology or astute practice to it.
We miss out on the mental part of it a lot.
I'm the opposite. I said I'm mostly physical.
I mean, there's physical stuff all day behind science and nutrition and activity. But aside from that, it's like, oh, well, you have issues, maybe you should see a counselor. Or self-help stuff, or looking online. It's about, yes, but talking and
you have
opening
issues,
up.
maybe you should see a counselor. It's like, let's outsource this problem.
let's
Right.
The same way cell phones have outsourced a lot of our memory and processing functions.
Right, and it should have never
Right.
started with that. It should be, hey, let's talk about it and talk about it with everyone you know, because someone out there has their own way of how they're dealing with it, and you pick up all these fragments of what's going to work for you. Like, oh, I like this piece and this piece and this piece, and then you've got everyone supporting you in that journey. Because when you say I'm on a diet and I'm working out or I'm doing this, people support you because you're talking about it. But we don't do that about what's in our head as much.
Exactly. Well said, Steve. Say that louder. Got to
Co-creator.
co-create.
Yes.
Or
There's
life's not-
fantasy in your head, and until there's co-creation, it's only fantasy. When someone puts in as a co-creator, you can only add resistance or assistance. You choose. If you add resistance, it fails. If you add assistance, it blooms. So you should be a positive co-creator in your team with people.
So well said. Yes. Thank you. Huge. Yes, plus Steve.
The mirrors are too short.
Yeah.
You usually catch it right about here.
Your chest looks good.
Something I feel like with self-love is like, for me, my entire life I didn't really love my body or myself. I feel like it was a lot of like, being like, knowing when those thoughts are arising and just being like, no. And then being like, I am this. I am not my thoughts. I am like any moment that starts to arise, I just, without a doubt, I have to be like, no, that's not true. Like, no. That doesn't work for everybody. Not everybody can just be like, I'm gonna put it into my head because it takes over. Your thoughts take over.
Right? Reprogramming.
Yeah, it's a huge reprogramming. You have to completely cut those wires and put in new wires.
But have eventually those thoughts settle down and no longer come. The more you're giving positive affirmations, then it's like,
Yeah, and
oh, I'm not telling myself that anymore in my head.
But the moment you slip up and aren't aware of when those thoughts are rising, is when you start to kind of fall back into it and kind of forget.
One simple way to wake up feeling better, that's your programming at night. Go to bed thinking about the things you've accomplished, the good things your subconscious will dwell on impacts, and when you wake up, it's a beautiful morning to start with. And you still have to do your routines, but at least it don't give you the dread of what I haven't finished.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Beautiful foundation for a brand new day, which is a brand new life.
And self-care, on the other hand, self-love is the self-care. Self-love is hard, but self-care, I can give myself self-care. That's too easy. A lot of it is learning your own love languages. You don't know how you receive love. How do you give yourself love?
Right?
You don't know. If you don't know, you don't know, and that's okay. You've not done anything wrong with it. But I don't know how you receive love.
You know, something. So I just got back from the gym, and my buddy was adjusting the equipment. And he's like, "Oh man, does this go any tighter?" And I don't think it does. And I go, "Oh yeah, it does. It's this notch right here." He's like, "Oh man, I'm so stupid." And I said to him, "You're not stupid. You just didn't know." He said that can cover a lot of things. And I think, you know, how often do we hear people say things like that? "Oh God, I'm so dumb." We're like,
Well, we are. Well, we
Yeah.
all are in so many
well,
areas.
it's just that
We
we're
don't know
not
everything.
dumb. We're
The
not
point is,
stupid.
why are we
There just
talking
things
about
we don't
our-
know.
why are we
We don't
talking
know
about
what we don't
couples?
know, and all we can do is help each other out.
People say all sorts of atrocious things. I'm sorry. You're not sorry, you're a human. Like, there's not really room for those to coexist very well. And if you try to, and if you keep telling yourself that and start to try and create it, well, then you kind of lose the human level.
I love catching people when they say bad things about themselves. Or I have to do it myself. Gotta do it.
I would do it if you came to me and said, "Hey, now you need to say," I would be like, "All right, I will." Thank you.
Is it tea, by the way? It smells like really good.
There is, as a matter of fact, yeah, and we'll like get some afterward. I like the reishi, lion's mane, and cordyceps that I grew are all been concocting all day long, 8 hours, 9 hours now, or something like that. So it's ready for tea right afterwards if we want.
I only asked because like I wasn't sure if
It smells
it
like
had gone around already or.
no, but you smelled right though. What else? What else do we do for taking care of ourselves? How do we tame the inner critic?
I think when it comes to changing negative patterns, you can't just try to stomp them out of existence. Say you have the thought, "I don't like myself." I think it's super blanket statement. But, you can't just say, "I like myself," and expect your body and mind to believe it, because you're telling yourself this for how long. You got to work something a bit easier that you can believe. Something more like, "Oh, I'm open to the idea of liking myself." Something like that. Where maybe I can believe that. So you can kind of sneak that in there.
You got to take a baby step sometime.
Well, neural pathways are, a lot like muscle memory. Like if you develop a whole bunch of bandwidth on this pathway from its use over and over the same thing, you keep telling yourself over and over and over again, you can't just cut that. Like that's
Those are open
that's
pipelines.
That's ruining a lot. So you have to rewire that where the ends connect to different things, and then they can become just as powerful as the habit that you're trying to overcome.
Definitely a release that you have to overcome. It's not just like, I am this because I say I am. You gotta overcome these things. You gotta put in work. There's no way you can. Yeah, it's programming. There's no way.
Well, until those thoughts don't happen anymore, there's still work to do.
And those thoughts will always come back. It's always gonna be a part of you.
And the work that we
There's
do,
no such thing as always or never.
But it can always come up.
Oh yeah.
It's a part of it.
Possibilities are always. The absolutes are not.
right? Gives us the ability to do anything we want.
something I struggle with healthcare wise is my health, being a diabetic. At the same time, I have there's a lot of work to do around it, like checking my sugars before bed and insulin adjustment in the middle of the night when I wake up. And then it's 30 minutes before any meal. I have to take insulin. I have to know what I'm going to eat. 30 minutes is how I should be doing it. And then 3 hours after I eat, checking it. And that's all day right there. And that doesn't include if I'm sick or if I've had adrenaline or exercise or stress. And I struggle with
Or a near-death
Not-
experience the night before.
Right. I, at the same time, want to feel normal. I want to enjoy my life. I don't want to be a robot to my disease. And when I am on key doing exactly what I'm supposed to be doing, I feel like a robot. That's what I'm doing. That's always on my mind. And then where am I really enjoying me and my time? But that's when I'm the healthiest. So I really struggle going back and forth. Like, I want to enjoy my life. I don't want to always have to be thinking and being programmed to do these things all the time. So I let go some of it, but then I end up not feeling great. So it's such a struggle for me to, I want to be in control of myself, but where is that control? Where's the control of my life and my body, and where's the control of making sure my health is then also controlled to the full max that it is? Because then I let go of my joy in life, and if I'm a robot doing the same thing. So I really struggle trying to figure out that balance, and I'm not there.
Thank you for sharing, babe.
No, there are definitely days I identify as a machine. You hit the ground, you wake up, you hit the ground running, and the next thing you know, oh man, I gotta go home and get some sleep, right? In order to get up to do this all again.
Right.
Self-care is so boring. No one else to do it.
It's like,
I love self-care. It's the best.
Some self-care is boring.
it feels
Like having to
tedious,
check your
you know?
insulin all the time and not
Okay,
your,
yeah.
your blood sugar.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a
And that's what I'm
maintenance
not,
thing that
like,
you
it's not like I got to choose
have
to
to
do
do,
that.
but
that
That's
feels
what I'm
so
What you would
forced with. Well,
not worth
Yeah.
our time.
so,
Well,
yeah,
that's-
I resent that, and then I don't take care of it like I should, so
That's a feeling based on a belief, based on thoughts.
Yeah.
yeah.
Change the thoughts, change the beliefs, feeling policy.
Right, I did, yeah.
That's how the psychological thing works. Like, this is established, this is not theory. But changing the thoughts is,
What's one of the best questions that you ask yourself?
Why?
Why?
rabbit hole.
You follow the why ladder.
Because every why can be followed by another why until you're either satisfied or just can't answer it.
I ask myself a lot, is there another way to see this? Another way to view this situation? Because I do have my judgments that I'll catch myself on, and it's like, oh, how can I see this a different way? And I always, like, then, it used to be hard in the beginning, like, trying to sort through a different way of seeing things, and now, like, they just flood. Like, there's 500 more ways of viewing circumstances, or
Well, and trying to balance the overextension of self I was talking about, like am I doing too much, is the question I always ask myself is there reciprocation? You know, the energy, being utilized, synergized, and turned into more, or is it falling flat on its face?
Right. Is there a taker involved that flippantly doesn't understand what's even going on?
are you getting back what you're putting in?
Yeah. Is it creating growth, or is it leading me dry?
Is it letting love emerge?
Well, with people
Mostly, in interaction with people, because again, I have a problem with doing way too much for everybody else, and then finding myself with that, oh crap, I have to sleep, kind of position. And then it's like, is it being distributed out right? Am I helping the right people? Because there's so many things going on, so many people, it's hard to prioritize based on that reciprocative value. Like, are we building? Are we constructing? Or again, am I
When are you doing it?
throwing energy out the window
Right.
because I'm hoping that they'll
Well, are you doing it because you
Right.
want to be doing it,
Yeah,
or
but- yeah.
because it feels like an
right.
obligation?
But that's again part of where you can get caught up in it. Yeah, you want to be doing it a lot of the time, but that doesn't mean that it's coming back and it's not just going to
Right,
burn you out to
of
death.
course.
That's where like just the last couple of years I started realizing a lot. This is not the way it can be.
Nice. Big change, big shift.
If I'm going to be capable of, providing, helping, healing, guiding, teaching, leading, any of those
Ow.
things, then I, at this point, I feel like I don't really, or shouldn't be really spending time or energy that isn't reciprocated or constructive.
Yeah. We all get to that point. It sounds like you're pretty mature, that you don't want to be spending your time around people who don't really care about whether you're around or not.
Also, like, we shouldn't expect.
No, there's no expectation for them to, yeah.
No, the
It's
expectation,
a bummer.
the expectation is where the pain comes from.
Yeah, that is a bummer.
Exactly.
That's the bummer.
Exactly.
If you do things with expectations, you always get let down.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
But if not, you're always pleasantly surprised by
The difference, I
every
think,
bit
is
that comes back.
an open hand or a closed hand when you're helping someone.
Right. Good
If
point.
it's an open hand and you have no regrets, you open that. But if you put stipulations on it, or if you said saving your energy for
Expectations.
things, this is when you got boundaries.
Right. Here's the shirt off my back. Now what are you going to give me?
Yeah, exactly. Friends spelled three ways.
Right. Get a thong.
There's FR to the end. There's FRIEND, like you spell the average guy. And then there's FREED, free ride to the end.
A free ride to the end.
But you and I to the end is the friend that we should all be spelling.
You were going to say
It
something?
is
Sam?
so darn COZSNUG in here, you
It
guys.
is all COZSNUG in here. Thank you for everybody's contribution to this COZSNUGness.
Self-extinction, over self-extending, very much. Where my own, the reciprocate value is not a factor. It's way less of a factor in who deserved help was who needed it and who was around. And that dynamic is so easily taken advantage of. It doesn't matter if they intend to do that or if they recognize opportunity. It just has happened in my life, and where I didn't realize I was high and dry until I was. And I was like, wait, hold on. There was all this going out, and like, why am I in the state that I'm in? It's not about like you don't always get what you get. It's being like intentional and mindful with that. Like, where's that energy going? Is it going into a black hole, or is it going to like some like constructive force that is co-creative? Like that was difficult to recognize for me because I just want to help people, and like however I can, I do, and find myself in situations where like that is what is necessary. And not until I started to like, I don't know, be more mindful of the balance that I like started to find those types of relationships.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, that's a form of self-care that lasts for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody be more reserved, dedicated, usually.
Mm-hmm. Do you often find yourself that you haven't drank enough water?
I drink a ton of water.
Do you drink enough water? When I had that kind of, like, it was like often I was like, man, why am I not getting enough water? It's never quite enough water.
I don't feel like there's such a thing as enough water for me.
Well, we're about out. We're about running out of time. We want to break and get water.
Oh. Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, we got a
Oh.
tea. Oh, are we already over? Oh, we can. Yeah, we can stop it up. Yeah. Let's do. This was nice. This was a fun conversation about love.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
I think it's good works for creating ideas and sending people down their own thoughts, so I think we can close.
Right. Thanks. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
We love
Thank you so much. We love you.
Love
And
yourself.
all of you,
Love
love
yourself.
yourselves.
Love yourself.